Have you ever opened Moneycontrol, Screener, or Tickertape and seen a investor section called Shareholding Pattern? You might have noticed terms like promoters, FIIs, and DIIs, and retail investors, but wondered what they actually mean. Should you buy a stock if FIIs are increasing their holdings? Is high promoter holding always good? Should you worry if promoter holding decrease? And in today's video I will explain everything in simple language with examples. By end of this video you will know how to read a company's shareholding pattern like a smart investor. Let's begin. What is a shareholding pattern? A shareholding pattern simply shows how owns a company's shares. Every listed company has many shareholders. Some are the founders, some are the Indian mutual funds, some are foreign investment companies, some are ordinary investors like us. And the company publishes this information every quarter so investor can see how ownership is divided. Think of a company is as a pizza with 100 slices. Each slice represents 1% of ownership. Some slices belongs to the founders, some belongs to the Indian institutions. The remaining slices belong to retail investors. This distribution is called the shareholding pattern, and you can check it on NSE website, BSE website, Money Investor Relations page, Moneycontrol, Screener, Tickertape, etc. And why is a shareholding pattern important? Many beginners only look at the share price. Professional investors also check who owns the company. The shareholding pattern helps answer questions like do the founders still believe in the company, or foreign investor buying, or Indian mutual funds increasing their investment? Is a promoter pledge high? How has ownership changed significantly over recent quarters? It does not tell you whether a stock will definitely go up or down, but it gives useful information about the investor confidence. And the first category is promoters. Promoters are the founders, or the people who control the company. They started the business or have controlling ownership. For example, if a company's promoter holding is 65%, it means the promoter group owns 65% of company's shares. The remaining 35% is owned by the other investors. Is high promoter holding good? Generally, stable promoter holding shows the founders continue to have a significant interest in the business. However, there is no fixed percentage that is always good. Instead of looking at one number, compare it over several quarters. If promoter holding increases, suppose promoter holding rises from 58% to 61%, this usually means the promoters have bought additional shares. Many investors view this as a positive sign because it may indicate confidence in the company's future. If promoter holding decreases, now suppose promoter holding falls from 65% to 60%, should you panic? Not immediately. Promoters may reduce their stake for different reasons, such as raising funds, bringing in strategic investors, or meeting regulatory requirements. The important thing is to understand why it changed instead of assuming every reduction is negative. And another important point is promoter pledge. Sometimes promoters borrow money from banks or financial institutions. To secure those loans, they may pledge some of their shares as collateral. This is called promoter pledging. A small amount of pledge is not always a concern. However, if a very large percent of promoter shares are pledged, it can increase financial risk. That's why investors should always check both promoter holding, promoter pledge before investing. Now let's understand FIIs. FII stands for foreign institutional investors. These are large institutions from outside India. Example include global mutual funds, pension funds, international asset management companies, sovereign wealth funds. So FIIs invest large amounts of money in Indian companies. If FIIs gradually increase their stake, it may indicate growing interest from international investors. If FIIs reduce their holding, don't immediately assume it's bad. They may be adjusting their portfolios, booking profits, or responding to global market conditions. The key is to look at the overall trend and the company's fundamentals together. Now let's understand DIIs. DI stands for Domestic Institutional Investors. These are large institutions based in India. Example include mutual funds, LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India, insurance companies, banks, pension fund, and these institutions manage money collected from millions of Indian investors. Suppose a mutual fund believes a company has a strong future growth, it may buy a large number of shares. When several DIIs increase their holdings, it often shows confidence in the company's business. However, don't buy stock only because the DIIs are buying. Always check the company's financial performance along with its shareholding pattern. The next category is retail investors. Retail investors are ordinary individual investors like you and me. If you buy shares through your demat account, you are a retail investor. Retail investors usually invest smaller amounts compared to FIIs or DIIs. If retail holding increases, it simply means more individual investors own the company's share. This is not automatically good or bad. Sometimes retail investors enter after a strong price rise. Sometimes they invest because they believe in their company's future. So never judge a stock only by retail participation. And let's understand with a simple real life example. Suppose a company's shareholding patterns look like this. Promoters 58%, FIIs 18%, DIIs 16%, retail investor 8%. Now imagine that after one quarter it changes to promoter 58%, FIIs 20%, DIIs 17%, retail investor 5%. What can we observe? Promoter holding remained stable, FIIs increased their stack, DIIs also increased their stack, retail holding decreased. This tells us that institutional investor increased their ownership. Does this guarantee the stock will rise? No. But it tells us that large investors have shown greater interest in the company. Now consider another example. Promoters 70% to 60%, FIIs 15% to 10%, DIIs 10% to 8%, retail 5% to 22%. Should you panic? Not immediately. First understand why these changes happened. Maybe promoter sold shares to raise capital, maybe FIIs booked profits, maybe retail investors bought during the correction. Always look at the reason behind the numbers. And so how to analyze shareholding pattern? When you are analyze a stock, ask these simple questions. Is promoter holding stable? Stable promoter holding often shows continued ownership. Is promoter pledge low? Low promoter pledging generally means lower financial risk. Or FIIs increasing their holdings, growing foreign participation can indicate institutional interest. Or DIIs increasing their holdings, domestic institutions often invest after detailed research and compare several quarters. Never make a decision based on just one quarter. Look at the trend over time. And common mistakes. Many beginners make these mistakes looking only at a promoter holding, ignoring promoter pledge, buying a stock only because the FIIs increased their holdings, ignoring the company's revenue, profit, EPS, debit, ROE and ROCE. Remember, shareholding pattern is only one part of stock analysis. It should always be combined with the company's financial performance. And final checklist before buying any stock, check promoter holding, promoter pledge, FII holding, DI holding, retail holding, compare trend over recent quarters. And finally conclusion, the shareholding pattern tells you who owns the company, not whether the stock will definitely go up or down. And a healthy shareholding pattern combined with strong financial results can help you make more informed investment decisions. So before investing, don't just ask, is this stock going up? Instead ask, who owns this company and how has the ownership changed over time? That a simple habit can make you a smart investor. If you found this video helpful, like, share and subscribe to Keshwa Money Talks. And finally, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Jai Hind.